He's on the
Keep
spot.
going.
Dwayne. Dwayne, you have a product. Imagine that your product is based solely off of personal health care, okay? Imagine also that this audience could also benefit a lot from that personal health care product. That personal health care product could be, weight loss, nutrition, whatever it is. I'm also creating a weight loss product as well. So something that you and I definitely need to talk with. Side note. Whole thing is that in the end, all we want these people to do is to get obvious great nutrition and go ahead and drink water and all this stuff. So the thing is that with these people, we need to have always these people in mind. This is nonprofit, this is corporation. So we're going to go ahead and distinguish between the two, so let's just make that look like that. Okay. So the thing is that you, Dwayne, you go to the nonprofit and say, you know what, nonprofit, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you all of my product. I'm going to give, your audience my product for free. Okay? I'm going to give it to them for free, and I'm going to promote your next event while doing it at the same time. For free. They're like, yeah. They're excited. Of course they'd be. Why not? This nonprofit, obviously, we do not want to take money from the nonprofit organization. We want to give out to their audience because it's a good thing to do. So now what you do is you take your product and you say, okay, well, hey, this is what I have. Here, this is me on a platter. Voila. Okay? Now what you do is the nonprofit will do is they'll give you their list. You just say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually send all this out. However, there are a lot of costs associated with this. I'm not going to have you pay those costs. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this, but I'm going to need some help from a corporation. So corporations, imagine that what if this was, we're going to go on a little bit of a sidetrack here, but what if this was, actually, this is the Boys and Girls Club, and this is the YMCA.
Sorry, I was just thinking Boys and Girls Club when you did that.
Is that right? Oh, cool. This is the Boys and Girls Club, this is the YMCA, or Gold's Gym, whoever it may be, right? If we're providing something of value to them that's based around fitness, clearly Gold's Gym would consider these people their target audience as well. It's a mutual pairing and alignment between these two. You now are like a connector. You're like Match. You're like Match.com for awesomeness. So imagine though now that you getting permission from the nonprofit, you now go over to the corporation. You talk to the director of gosh, what is it? I can't remember right now. But essentially, what you do is you go talk to the person who's in charge of hosting and handling like events and investments and whatnot. Yeah, the events coordinator essentially. So what you would do is that you would tell them, hey, not only are you going to get your face plastered all over this one big event that we're having for this audience, because guess what? You say that you have an audience of 10,000 plus. Even though that you have a zero list, their list is your list now. Right? So now you go over there, you go to this individual, you go to this corporation, and you say, okay, not only are we going to actually get you plastered all over the event, but we're going to actually allow you to put in the mailing your own flyer about whatever the hell that you want to put in there. Now you have to keep in mind that you're not going to be getting a mismatching of these two people ever. These two people, it's not like you can do Boys and Girls Club in Budweiser. Clearly, that's not going to fly, right? So that thing is that you're going to make sure that they're in alignment. You're going to say, get the mailing, but all you do is that you have to pay for my products, for every single one of them, to be a part of this great opportunity. You have to also pay for the mailings, and then I need a 10% administration fee. So what happens then is that by you handling all of this, 10% of this whole situation, say that your product, say it's a book, and that book can go ahead and go on Amazon.com for 20 bucks or 15 bucks, okay? So say, but you printing the book itself would be $1.09 on average. So if you can go ahead and actually tell them, oh, I'm going to give you a great deal at wholesale for 9 bucks, you now just made $8.50, $7.50, whatever, on each and every book. If there's 10,000 people you're getting out to, let's do the math. Now, on top of that is that if you're coordinating all this, there's additional 10% administration organizational fee that will allow you to charge on top of that. So if they're actually paying you $80,000, $90,000 to go ahead and be on this flyer, be in this mailing, if they handle all the mailings, not on top of the books, if your whole price tag is $115,000, $115,000, 10% of that, you got an additional 10 grand in your pocket. So now you put that on top. Now that whole price tag comes out to 130, 140,000. You make sure that with all that cash, all that influx of costs, you go ahead and you make sure that they have a rocking event. You now put a lot of money out to that. The majority of the time you're going to have, that's just one tier of person. That's like the high tiered of sponsors. You now get 4 or 5 other sponsors for this large event. Your book also, imagine, and your product for free to you. Actually, you get paid to get exposure. Now, because your book, your product gets out to this huge audience. They're happy. They're happy. I mean, they're freaking ecstatic, right? And now you're sitting pretty because you came up with this imaginative scheme way by which you can go ahead and get paid to get your system out, whether it's a product, info product, whatever it is, and get paid for it, and make a bunch of people happy.
And make friends.
And make friends. And then how those two, a lot of times you can actually look at press releases and see that who they've actually worked with in the past before, and then when you get in with them, they already, like, you walk in and say, hey, oh yeah, I was thinking of going with them. Excuse me. Do you know of anybody that you might refer me to? And that's where these guys, typically these guys are all about being happy, and there's really no roadblocks with them. There's no. Sorry about that. There's no. Yeah, like I said, there's no gatekeepers, there's no roadblocks, because people, obviously, in the nonprofit world, they don't, they want people to help and be a part of what they're doing. So, in every corporation, whenever you say, hey, I'm working with blank, and they have previously worked with them, it's like your family. It's a direct tie and testimonial and, like, reference into it. That's genius, and that's it. So now you need a product.
Yeah.
Now all you need to do is go check out Brendon's Total Product Blueprint. Do you have that? I do, and I'll just give you access to that, and you can go check it out. There's 12 steps for you to I'll work with you on that.
Is that fully online?
What's that?
Is the Total Product Blueprint online?
Online?
Like,
yeah.
accessible online?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, I haven't watched the full thing, unfortunately, but it's a step-by-step process by which you can sell up to 12 different products to make $100,000 a month, give or take, on each one. So,
Awesome.